Hey there, this is T Girls. How do you guys like my shirt? I'm loving it. Anyways, today I just wanted to share with you guys how I potted up my tomato seedlings. Basically moving them from the seed trays right here to the final location prior to moving them outdoors. So they're going to be staying in this pots that I got from Dollar Tree and up until I transplant them outdoors. And in my area, that's about after Mother's Day, so in sometime in May. And here are the things I'll be using. This right here is gold. It's bunny compost. And here is the soil I'll be using, Miracle Grow Moisture Control Potting Mix, as well as water, of course. And then my little pot here, vase here, whatever you want to call it, that's what I'm using to mix up the soil. And basically when I'm mixing up the soil, I'm putting majority 99, or let's say 99, or what, 80% of it is, let's not put a percentage to it, majority of it is the moisture control potting mix, a little bit of it is the bunny compost, and then water. Now the reason I'm putting just a little bit of bunny compost, is because at this time, at least from what I've gathered and learned and I've been told, they're so tiny, the seedlings are tiny, they're tender, they don't need as much nutrients from what the bunny compost provides, right? So that's why I only give them that little. But when they go outside, when I'm transplanting them outdoors, I'm gonna have more bunny compost there, and bunny compost is really good. But today is not about bunny compost. I'll probably make a video about that, separate video about that some other time. But in any case, so basically that's what I do when I'm mixing up my soil for potting up the seedlings. The three things: water, moisture control potting mix, and bunny compost. And what I love to do when I'm transferring them into the pot, is that I fill up the pot like 3/4 way up, or sometimes I fill them all the way and then separate it in the center, so that way when I put the seedling sits just right inside, right? And when I dig a hole in the center, it depends on the plant. Now if I have a seedling that is very leggy, meaning that it's so tall and it's kind of lanky, I'll try to bury it more so than a seedling that is kind of short, if that makes sense. And hopefully I captured that in the video here with all the plants that I potted. But that's the whole idea. So you want to kind of gauge the height of your seedling to determine how deep you want to plant it, right? Like you see there are two of them there. I think I threw away the second one because I don't think it was good, but that one looks so tall. So I tried as much as possible to probably bury it more so inside, so that way it's covered up more with soil, and it doesn't become more leggy, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm just getting used to this whole gardening thing, guys, so I don't have all the terminology right. I need to go learn my terminologies, okay? But yeah, so by the way, this is my second year planting indoors. The first year I planted indoors and it was successful, thank God. And the previous year I didn't want to plant indoors. I'm like, now we're gonna plant this pepper seed outside and see what's gonna happen, because people are talking about indoors. I don't have time for that. And let me tell you, nothing happened. Nothing sprouted, except I take it back, one pepper sprouted, but only bore fruit like in the fall, so I was like, last year I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot, and it's gonna be a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. And it was totally worth it, guys. So if you are on the fence as to whether to start peppers and tomatoes indoors or not, I encourage you to do so. And this is why, especially if you're in an area where you have the summer, the winter, the fall, the spring, the reason we plant indoors is so that we have enough time in the short space of summer to grow, to allow the tomatoes to not just grow but also bear fruits. And they bear fruit at most in the summer. So you want to make sure that you have done the groundwork indoors, and then outdoors it gives it time to flourish. It gives you that fruit that you need in the little space of time before the fall sets in. if that makes sense. Yep, so that's pretty much how I pot up. It took me about an hour to pot up 16 of the tomato plants. One thing I learned, next time, if I'm going to use a large seed tray like that, and for anybody who is interested in knowing this, you want to, you know, plant the seeds in the soil strategically. I didn't do that. I planted the tomatoes kind of like in the middle. So you want to plant them based on how fast they're expected to germinate. So my lesson learned is next time I'll plant based on how fast they're able to germinate. So that way it's easier for me to take them out and pot them up when it's time. I really struggled in trying to get the tomato plants in the middle and not destroy the pepper plants beside them. So next time it's going to be like basil, tomatoes, and then peppers on the other side. So that way it's easier. Next time I'm going to be potting up the basils and the peppers. As you can see here, that was all the work I did. It took me about an hour. The basils are about ready. And by the time I shot this video, that was a week ago. Now it's like almost another weekend. I think this coming weekend I will have to transplant the basils. But guys, so that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the comments. This is my gardening journey. So I just want to share with you guys, encourage someone, inspire someone who is still on the fence about gardening. Gardening is very, very rewarding. It's like you see a tiny little seed become something big and fruitful. So that's it, guys. So for more updates about gardening, want to be inspired, subscribe to my channel to get updates.